He's been on numerous national comedy tours, joining the likes of Jeff Foxworthy, Larry the Cable Guy.
He also can be seen on Hulu's Comedy Time and on WGN. But the best part about him, he's right here from Nebraska.
A Nebraska guy performing at the Funny Bone this weekend. Please welcome comedian Nick Hoff. Good to see you, Nick.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Welcome back to the It was about a year ago that you were here on
About a year ago. I love how you put the dog on right before me.
Yeah,
The
well,
dog's
he
got
doesn't
my
shed
same.
that much.
No, he's not too bad. We got a couple spots, but I love how I just follow the dog.
Sometimes we get a lint roller out, but I guess we didn't do that this time. So
No, I mean, I just rolled out of bed anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, welcome back. I mean, you're a Nebraska guy. For people that don't know you, but it was funny because I was on social media a couple nights ago, and you were were you in Sioux City?
Sioux City at the Hard Rock Hotel.
And somebody was posting on, like, I just went and saw Nick Hoff. They were excited about it. And so you have a national following, really, but around these parts, people love you.
Oh yeah. Grew up in Hastings, and so it's always good to get back and a lot of people, and you grow the fan base, and people want to support the local guy, and I love that.
Guy,
And
so how did you, I mean, you've been on the show before and you talked about it last year, but I want to know, how did you get started in comedy, especially in small town Nebraska?
I don't know, there was nothing else to do. Nothing to do.
It almost had something to do with George Carlin. I remember you telling us that story.
Yes, when I was in college, I was a guest usher at the Indiana University Auditorium, and they'd let you watch the show for free, so I knew the general manager. And when Carlin was coming to town, I had been writing jokes, and I thought, oh, let me ask. And so I said, hey man, can I do like 5 minutes before George? And he goes, 100% not. There's no way. You're going to bomb in front of 2,300 people. But that was the first time I tried to try comedy, but I had wanted to since I was little, growing up listening to Cosby albums, watching Seinfeld growing up. So
when do you think you actually sat down and scratched out your first joke on paper, like sat down and wrote a joke?
It was junior high.
Was it really?
And then,
do you remember the joke? Like, do you remember any idea?
It was just impressions of kids in my class.
Make fun of the teacher.
There was a Santa Claus
Johnny
bit in there. It was real revolutionary stuff. It was cutting edge.
Don't you wish you could go back though and know, what was it going through your mind then and the jokes? I mean, I wish you could.
Yeah, and I remember in high school then I had a decent amount of material, and we had a talent show, and I signed up for the talent show. They were gonna have me close the show, and then I went on, we had a golf tournament. Our high school team had a golf, and I forgot to tell everybody that I wasn't going to be back. And so they announced my name from the stage, like, and now to do stand-up comedy, Nick Hoff. And I just wasn't there. And everybody's like, hey, all right. And then I just didn't show up.
Are you serious?
I was supposed to close the show, so then they're just like, I guess it's over. Nick let everyone down.
Yeah, great first impression. Nick. Good job. Well, the last time you were here was the end of July, I believe, in 2016. So it's been a year. And what have you been up to since? Tell us what's been going on.
I've been on tour with Foxworthy and Cable Guy, which is awesome.
Amazing.
They are awesome most of the time. But I tried to do a prank, and I put Foxworthy and his road manager that he tours with. They've been best friends since they were like in 6th grade. And I had the hotel, I showed up at the hotel first, and so I had the hotel put them in the same room and call it the honeymoon suite. And they had flowers for them. They had like this heart key. And they showed up, and I'm hiding over on the side, and I watched their faces go, no, we should have separate rooms, I think. And I'm just laughing.
So they blew it.
No, the lady at the front desk sold it so well. And like for 5 minutes, they were going, I don't think so. They're like, no, we're very happy that you're here. Then you decided to celebrate with us. Like we've been running around the staffs all excited that you're doing this. And they're going, what in the world? And so I come out and I'm laughing. They're like, okay, Nick, I think you might have poked the wrong bear here. And then 2 nights later in Cincinnati, I go up. 2 of my best friends in the world are there. I hadn't seen them in several years. And we're down in the green room. Then it's time for me to go up on stage. I go up to dead silence for the first 2 minutes. I'm going, what in the world's going on? I'm punchline after punchline. I'm giving them my best stuff. Ones, right? I'm just throwing haymakers and nothing. People just staring at me. What is going? I look over to the side about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes in, and 7 cell phone cameras are just going off. They're just laughing. Their butts.
So they told the audience.
They had gone out on stage. Then a guy in the front row holds up a sign, courtzy of Jeff and Larry.
Oh, that's awesome!
I was having a heart attack. I've got gray hairs. I don't know if you can see my gray hairs. I didn't have these before that show.
That's awesome.
How'd you get hooked up with those guys? Was your Nebraska connections with Larry?
I don't think that hurt. I don't think that hurt, but I didn't know him. And they have their own channel on Sirius Radio, and I was pitching a show idea for their channel, like a weekly segment. And it was right at the exact same time they were looking for an opener. And my manager's like, well, what about this guy? And so originally I was booked for 4 shows, and so far we've done, I think, 80.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So
congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
That's
awesome.
That is awesome. But they're a great team together. They're here for like an XM thing at the Funny Bone. They recorded a segment at the Funny Bone not too long ago. So it's got to be fun touring with those guys.
Dude, it's a blast. And so then when they usually take the summers kind of off, and then I just go out and I tour comedy clubs. So here in Omaha at the Funny Bone, and so it'd be awesome if people came out.
At the Funny Bone, we heard that are you recording an album there?
Saturday night.
Tell us about that.
Early or late? Both shows?
Both shows, yeah.
Yeah, tell us about that, and what can people expect?
They can expect a laugh. Come out. You won't be disappointed, I promise. Yeah, we're going to record both shows, and I'm excited. So it'll be the first album I've done in several years. Got a lot of new material, and excited to get that out there for people to hear.
And hopefully people will be clapping and joining in and not just dead silent.
A few of you would come out and laugh. I'd love it if my comedy album had laughter.
You gonna have some people, some family out here for those shows Saturday night?
Yeah, which is worse.
Yeah.
I hate it when families.
Is it more pressure when there's family?
Yes, because they already hate you.
Yeah.
And so
and they're probably
terrible.
in some of your jokes. And,
yeah, or they've heard it before. That wife material? Okay.
All right.
Yeah. We can tune out now.
Well, thanks for coming. Because you got a couple kids. Wife are back in California right now, or they come back with you?
No, they're in Hastings right now. We're on tour. She was a teacher before we had kids, so we've always gone out in the summer together. So they're in Hastings right now, spending time with the grandparents.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
yeah, we're full tilt out there on the road.
Where'd you meet her at? Did you meet her in Indiana?
College, Indiana. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I just stole her and
took her right
crushed
out of
her
that state,
dreams.
The rest is history.
Next at the Funny Bone all weekend long. Tonight 2 shows, and tomorrow 2 shows, which is going to be recording that next live albums. They call them albums, they call them CDs now. What do they call them?
You call it either one. I like to call it an album. It sounds
more
prestigious,
fancy.
doesn't it?
I think it's
sound
fancy.
When my album goes double platinum.
Yes, and we're going to get there. We're going to help make that possible.
Appreciate it.
Nick, good to see you, buddy.
Thank you so
Thanks for coming.
much.
Thanks for having me.